Today on Dylan Talks Tone, we're going to talk more about how to make a living in music and creative stuff without a record deal or anything. So after this initial video that we did where we floated the idea that it was possible that you could make a living in the music business without a record deal using social media to be able to promote yourself instead, it's interesting the reactions we got. We got a mixed reaction. We got mixed reactions. We got people saying, well, you can't make any money off of YouTube ads. You can't. There's just blah, 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 lots of impossibilities and you know, people saying, I can't. You're right. If you can't, you can't. I can, okay? And that's really the difference. This is a mindset situation. Let's think about just for a minute what the record companies actually give you. Back in the day, the purpose of a record company or even distribution companies in television or any sort of media were just that. They were distribution. So they were, I am an artist. I am signing a record deal so that you handle, the record company would then handle the publicity and the tours and everything to make sure that thousands of people saw your creation, whatever it was, and then as a result of that, they sold records, they took a cut of your creative, and everybody was happy. Obviously, we know that that is not the case anymore. Here's the thing, though. It's not all bad. Everybody wants to say that Spotify's ruining the record business and iTunes is ruining the record business and all that stuff. And to me, this is a perspective situation. The bottom line is, what you have now is you have control over the distribution. You are the distribution. The thing about it is that with social media, when done correctly, you have a lot bigger reach than some small record companies. You have the power in your hand to do it. This guy right here, this phone, everyone has one. This is where the world happens, on mobile phones. You have one in your hand, and that means that you have production and distribution in your hand. Everybody has it. This is a mentality situation. This is many steps, and this is a long time. I'm not saying that tomorrow you're going to make a video on YouTube and you're going to be the next YouTube star. A lot of people can, a lot of people have, and a lot of people still will. If you think you can't do this, then you probably won't. And you'll be the next person complaining on the internet about how the record companies blah, 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 and how iTunes and blah, all this stuff. But if you take control of the distribution, which is in your hand, and make something of the talent that you have or that you are developing, maybe you're just new to this, maybe you're a new guitar player and you want to start from scratch. Well, then there's a few things you can do. Remember, if you use that concept of distribution, this is distribution. You are just reaching as many people as possible. All the record company did was just help you reach more people. Now you can do that yourself. All this takes is a strategic plan to distribute your creative. So where do we start? First of all, let's start with YouTube and Instagram. Do you have a YouTube and an Instagram account? If you do not, then I highly suggest that you start one right now. Pause this video and start a YouTube and start an Instagram. I'll wait. Okay, now that you have an Instagram and a YouTube, you may not know how to use it, but all you can tell is here's an upload button, here's an upload button. The two things, if I was you, that I would do is start sharing your story of who you are and how you became to be this creative person. On Instagram, you can do it in 30-second videos. On YouTube, I would do it in 3 to 5 minute videos. You say, well, what about production? Don't worry about production. Just hit record on your cell phone and upload. If you are not comfortable with that, then do live video. Then all bets are off. Whatever you say is what you say, and it goes up, and there you go. I would do that on Instagram, YouTube, and I actually would do it on Facebook as well. Every day, share on Instagram for 30 seconds for, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. How you became this creative person. Tell your story. Number one. And number two, share some of your creative. 30-second clips. That's all you got, right? 30-second or a minute or whatever there. Clips of your music, your songs, your songwriting. And we're going to have some other videos. We actually are making some other videos about what you can do to do that higher quality for like under $100. And just start sharing a video every day on Instagram. Share one about yourself and share one about your creative. So talk about yourself, tell us your story. Tell the world your story. It's probably amazing. Here's the thing. You're going to say, well, I'm a pretty boring person. Yeah, but you know what? I'm a boring person too, but I have a lot of stuff to talk about. I have a lot of stuff that's important to me, and other people will identify with that. Just start doing. Get on Instagram and get on YouTube. My personal plan that has been very successful for me is on Instagram and Facebook. I go live once a day. On Instagram, I share 4 or 5 times a day. On Facebook, on my stories, I share 5, 6, 7 times a day. And on YouTube, I share 3 or 4 videos a week plus our live show. Okay? It's fairly ambitious, but honestly, that's what it takes. The thing is you're already spending the time on social media anyway. This is a way that you can actually make it count for you. We can talk, if you're interested, about how to use hashtags and all the other kind of technically strategic things you can do. But instead of miring you down in all those sorts of things, what I would say is 100% focus on telling your story in 1-minute snippets or whatever it is, and sharing your art. Do that every day. And you're going to say, well, how does that translate into money? Remember, the only thing that a record company gave a person was audience. What you are doing is growing audience. If you do not do this, your audience will not grow. You will play in front of the same 20, 30 people every weekend for the rest of your life. This is 2018. This is how you grow your audience. Not with a record deal, not with any other reason, except with the social media that you already have in your hand. So, I challenge you to, now that you have started, because I know you paused the video like I told you to, and started an Instagram and a YouTube, share your story, who you are, how you became. People want to see that personal connection, right? They want to know who you are. They want to know how you became that person. Think of it, back in the old days when we used to watch VH1, those VH1 stories of like, this is who they were and this is who they are now. Everybody loved that stuff. It's because they want to know the story. They want to know who you are. Then they also want to know your creative. They want to know your music. They want to hear your music. We'll talk about all kinds of ways to share it. We'll talk about ways to get super strategic about it. But this is where you start. You do. Okay, this is not, I'm going to do it tomorrow. This is not, oh, I really should do that. That if you're that person, you just be happy with being where you are. But if you really want to be successful at what you love, you have to share it with people so that they see it. And you have in your hand right here the tool to do it. My name is Dylan. This is Dylan Talks Tone. We're going to talk a lot more about this. I know that there's a lot of people on my YouTube channel that want to share their creative with the world and they just don't know how. Today, go on Instagram, share part of your story, share part of your creative. Today, go on YouTube, share some of your creative, and share it all around. Then share the links with everybody. Tag me in them. I want to see them. I'm curious. Maybe we'll use your music in one of our videos. I don't know. If this brings up a question for you, or you're like, I'm not sure because I have this other problem, or whatever it is, whatever concern or question or problem this makes you think of, put it in the comments and we're going to talk about it. We'll make a video just for you.